Howdy, folks. Once again, I'm joined by the old boy, Gazza. Gazza, how's it going?
Yeah, good, thanks. Yep.
We're here to talk a little bit more Rugby World Cup. The tournament's well done and dusted now, Gazza. How are you feeling about it? Are you over it? You've accepted the defeat that we suffered at the hands of the Box?
Yeah, I've accepted all that pretty quickly, actually.
What did you make of it overall as a tournament?
No, pretty good, yep.
Pretty good?
Yep.
Comparable to like the 2019 one or
Different?
I like the crowds. The crowds were pretty good.
Yep.
Don't like losing finals though.
Oh, well. Part of history.
It is part of history. Gazza's here and he's going to pick his top five games from the Rugby World Cup. I haven't been told what his five are, so we'll see if any of his five are the same as the five that I picked. And we could talk about why you picked each one of them. What's your first one, Gazza?
Portugal, Fiji.
Portugal, Fiji. I think I also picked Portugal, Fiji. That was a pretty good game. Why did you pick Portugal, Fiji?
It was good to see a minor nation beat a, mid to really good nation in the rugby game. It was exciting and there was a lot of, to and fro in it and a lot of movement, and it was good to see a last minute try and a win for Portugal. I thought it was good, entertaining game.
Portugal play exciting rugby.
They do, yeah.
They were, I think, one of the kind of good news stories about the World Cup.
Indeed, yeah.
Some of the teams, like, Romania got a few hidings. Namibia gave Uruguay a bit of a go, but Portugal generally, I think
they're good.
They were pretty impressive. All right, so we agree on that one. What's your second one?
Second one, Samoa and England.
Samoa and England. I picked that one as well, and a lot of people thought wasn't that flash. What did you like about it?
I liked about it because of the closeness of the score, the competitiveness, the the to and fro. Really, it was really close. Nail biter.
Yes.
And I really was a tingler. Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
I also love a close game. There was a bit of controversy in that one because the Samoan guys have one of their tries disallowed for a knock on.
Yeah.
Is that a case of a bit too much TMO?
Sort of marginal. Yeah, I mean, it could have gone either way. We've seen them before.
50-50 calls.
So there's no use moaning about it too much. I mean, it could have gone either way. There's a lot of tries like that these days.
Yeah, 50-50 calls. I guess that's the nature of them. They can just genuinely go either way. All right, I think we're in agreement 2 from 2. Who's your third one?
South Africa, England.
South Africa, England. So that's the semi-final.
Yep.
I'm going to have to put England here. Right, there we go. South Africa, England.
Now, I concentrated on England a lot in this tournament.
Yeah.
And I said they were going to go deep. And my prediction came true. They kicked a bit too much, but they played some pretty good tactical, strategic rugby. And they almost got away with it. Were they a bit unlucky? Well, they might have been. And, there was a couple of refereeing decisions that were 50-50, but we've got to accept that now that it's all over. But I found that another one because it was close and it was exciting. And did South Africa deserve the win? Well, they probably did in the end, but a lot of people don't like England. But I'm sorry to say, I like this English team because they had such not a great introduction to the tournament. And they came right in their own English way is about the best way to describe it.
Some people describe that game as England kind of out-Springbokked the Springboks because they kicked a lot of ball to them, but then that man Oxenchair, remember he came on and started winning some scrum penalties. So, that was a proper nail biter, as you say. That one, I don't think I picked that one, but it was also probably worthy of a semi-final.
Yeah.
Who's your fourth game?
Ireland and the All Blacks.
Ireland and the All Blacks. I also had that one. What did you like about that one?
Well, it was competitive. Couple of controversial decisions by the referee, but both teams played some pretty good constructive rugby. And I know Ireland didn't win that game, but they played pretty well. And when they went into this tournament at number 1, did I think they deserved it? Yes. And did I think afterwards they deserve it? Yes, I did. For that simple reason that they weren't disgraced. They didn't get a hiding. They went close.
They didn't choke.
Yeah, no, they didn't choke. They gave it everything, and I got a lot of admiration for Irish rugby.
That game was a genuine flip of a coin. You know, they had how many phases at the end? It was like 36 or something stupid, and then Sam Whitelock wins that turnover. That game goes either way. I don't think either side is disgraced by the result, but geez, another quarterfinal exit was pretty brutal for the Irish boys. Right, you got one game left to go. Who are you picking for your final of your top five?
Can I have a couple of recommendations after this one?
You can have a couple of honourable mentions at the end.
Honourable mention. Well, the other one was France and South Africa.
Oh, yeah. France and South Africa. That was a cracker. Absolute cracker. Quarterfinal. What'd you make of that game?
It was a very exciting game. A lot of movement by both teams. And, France deserved the number 2 spot going into the tournament. And even afterwards, would they hold that in the world ranking? Probably not, but they're still in the top 3 in the world. They played some really good rugby, and so did South Africa. South Africa just seemed to... outsmart them at the right time. But the French played really well, and I know they're going to be bitterly disappointed about leaving that tournament. But they're like the Irish; they can hold their heads up high. They certainly were not disgraced.
Kind of a funny one as well, because the French, as a side that we think of as this kind of flair and attacking side, but they scored through their front rowers, and it was the South Africans scoring.
They did a bit of everything.
Yeah, that's right. It was the high balls, eh? That one had a little bit of controversy in it because of the old charge down from Colby on Ramos. He might have been a foot too early, but...
I'm not worried about that.
Nah.
I think it was legal.
Yeah.
I mean, you could debate that all day long.
I think they asked Ramos about it, and he basically just said that maybe he was in front. I'm paraphrasing, but maybe he was in front, but also they didn't catch their high balls, and there was other things that
missed the kicks.
Yeah, exactly. So it's never just that one thing. All right, it's a pretty impressive 5. I think we've got a few that match up. What are your honourable mentions?
Well, the honourable mentions, obviously, the All Blacks and the Springboks, and
the final,
very controversial game. And when I first had a look at it and a replay and everything, I was a bit, I didn't really want to analyse it too quickly because I wanted to see the replay, what it was like. And even though, people say, well, we got robbed and all this other paraphernalia that goes on, it's points on the board at the end of the day, and there's controversial refereeing decisions, and they happen in every game, as we know, in one and another. So was I disappointed? Yes. Was I absolutely gutted? No. We got to the final, which I think was a success for the All Blacks. And I got to congratulate the Springboks for winning the tournament because they won 3 games.
That's right. Tough games, man.
3 games by 1 point.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, very tough games.
I'm quite happy they won it.
South Africa had to play some of the hardest things. They had to play Ireland. That game against Ireland, South Africa, Ireland in the pool stage, that was another...
Yeah, it was another one.
That was another cracker.
One more mention, the Tongan South African game.
Oh, yeah, that was
I
good.
enjoyed that because Tonga played like Samoa against England.
Yeah.
They played out of their skins.
That was their best game.
They played brilliant. I watched that game. And I watched it. That's probably the game I watched 3 times.
Yeah.
Because they gave it everything. And, I think Samoa and Tonga are a bit underrated at times. A bit more lower than Fiji. But like Samoa against England and Tonga against South Africa, I got really excited.
No, that was a great game.
And even though they lost by a bit, they were far from disgraced.
Yeah, for sure. What about Wales against Australia? That record win.
Well, that's probably... Yeah, well, I wasn't surprised that Wales won. I was just surprised they won by so much.
The margin, eh? Yeah, the margin.
And I think, well, I'm a bit like you. I think Welsh rugby got a bright future.
Hopefully.
Under Warren Gatland. Now, I know there's been a lot of toing and froing with people retiring and injuries and everything else, and there's a lot of controversy about the Welsh Rugby Union. But I think if they get their heads together, and the Wallabies for that matter as well, they can improve in the next 4 years.
Yeah. Fingers crossed. I'm watching some URC last week and every Welsh team lost, sadly.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but I don't know. It's only one round of games, so all they got to do is find 23 players, bring through some of the young guys, and you never know.
Yeah,
What's the All Blacks prospects now? We've got no Whitelock, no Retallick, no Aaron Smith. Savier's gone for a wee bit. Sam Kane's gone for a year.
I think The only position that really worries me is lock.
Lock, yeah.
Props we've got, hookers we've got, loose forwards, a ton of, half-backs plenty, outside backs, bit light at first five, but I think we've got enough there to cover it. Wouldn't want to get too many injuries, but lock's the main one that worries me a bit. I mean, we've got some really good locks in this country that
Scott Barrett.
Yeah, lack a bit of experience, yeah, Josh Lord and that. But I wouldn't want 4 of our top locks to be injured. But I think the next tier of locks are there, but they're 2 years away.
Oh, well, if there's anyone to get them through, I guess Razor's your guy.
Yeah, well, Razor is such a... He's a unique type of coach.
He's an enigma.
He's a unique... He's charismatic. He's an enigma type of coach. What he's going to do, you don't know, because you don't know what he's going to do. I like his assistants, Jason Ryan, Jason Holland, Leon McDonald. Yeah, and who's the other one? Scott Henson.
Oh, yeah.
Scott Henson. I love all those guys. But Razor's got some challenges, and I think we should not be too hard on him if he has a few losses in the rebuild. Now, you've said this on your channel. He might get a little bit of flack, and he might get...
Because the expectations are pretty high.
Yeah, I think we've just got to be patient with him. You agree with that?
More patient than we were with Fozzie.
Well, different. I mean, Fozzie, yeah. Well, Fozzie, in a way, he's an enigma. He's an enigma, but I will give him kudos for his last 18 months with the All Blacks. Once he got Joe Schmidt and Jason Ryan with him, he came a long way in a short time. And that's not to degrade Brad Moore or John Plumtree, because they were good coaches, but just possibly not at the right time. I think it might have been the wrong time for those two guys. That's just my personal opinion. People can disagree with that, but you know, the Bible of rugby does not know everything. As my mate used to say, with blank pages. I'll lose Farnham.
All right,
God bless his soul.
All right, Gazza, thank you for your top 5. And yeah, you guys let us know what you reckon about Gazza's top 5. And yeah, we'll talk to you guys again soon.
Thanks, team.
See you.